Hi everybody, I'm back in the shop and I've got a new real gear project to share with you. I'm making a drive gear for an antique milling machine that's probably older than I am. Hope you enjoy it. Our project for today is to make a drive gear for a Kearney and Trecker 2H, I believe. It's one of those components that seems to be hard to find for people. And they'll have the machine, they'll have the universal head, but they don't have the drive gear that actually attaches to the spindle on the machine, and that's a problem, of course. So a friend of mine online, Greg at My Little Mule, was kind enough to allow me to use him as a guinea pig to see if I could make a gear to his spec that would satisfy the requirements of the machine. So he was able to send me a fair bit of information, but no drawings. So this is a little bit of a crapshoot. I think it's going to work. I think the gears are all standard. There's no profile offsets or anything like that. So we're going to give it a shot. So this gear is DP9, 14.5 degree pressure angle. The helix angle is 27 degrees, 16 minutes. So 27 degrees, 16 minutes, and that equals 27.2666667 degrees. That obviously that's a repeating decimal, but anyway. So the gear is 24 teeth. The bore is 1 inch. The width is 0.875 inches, but the width at the hub is 1.175. So the gear is going to look like this in cross section. So for the gear profile, the whole depth equals 2.157 over the DP. And that is 0.2396 something, but I'm going to call it 0.240 inches. So that's the whole depth. The pitch diameter is equal to Z over dP cosine beta, where Z is the tooth count, dP is the dP, and cosine beta is cosine of the helix angle. And that, for this case, turns out to be exactly 3 inches, near enough. The addendum, that's the bit of the tooth above the pitch line, between the pitch line and the tip, is 1 over the DP, and that equals 0.1111. The OD equals the pitch diameter plus 2 times the addendum, and without writing it down, so it's 3 plus 2 times that number, and that turns out to be 3.2222 inches. So that's the OD that we have to put on our blank. The lead that we have to put into our machine is pi times the pitch diameter divided by the tangent of beta. And for this case, that works out to be 18.286265. And again, the only reason I carry that out to that extent is you want to come as close as you can to baking that lead into your lead compensation train. So for my machine, the ratio is the ratio that I'm shooting for the lead compensation train is 120. That's my machine constant for that train, 120 to 1, divided by 10 times the lead. So I think that's all there is. It's 10 times the lead, yeah. So put a long line there for some reason. Anyway, that turns out to be 0.6562302. So that's the ratio that I'm trying to achieve for my lead compensation train. So I went to my favorite website for doing change gear calculator, and if you just put in change gear calculator on the web, you'll get probably 2 or 3 websites. This one is run by a guy named Nikoslav, I believe. I expect that he's Polish, but it's a really cool little calculator, and you can use it for a lot of things, actually. In this case, I needed to find a change gear set that had that was made up of gears that I actually had. So in this case, I picked one that was 47 tooth, 81 tooth, 95, and 84. I've got all the change gears up to the 90s, up to 90. I only have a couple in the 90s decade, so I still need to make those. But anyway, I have these gears, so that's my lead compensation train. So once again, on my machine, just to draw it the way it is, A drives B, B drives C, C drives D. So A is moving at the table feed rotation, table feed screw rotation. D is turning at the output ratio, so it would be 0.656 of that. And then there's 120 to 1 ratio between D and the actual work spindle. Lead compensation train. So that's the story. I have nothing but respect for the YouTube machinists that keep their machines sparkling clean. However, as you will have noticed by now, I am not one of them. But still, It's nice to have at least the first layer of chips knocked off before I start work for the day. There we go. Well, the next bit is just basically the production of the blank. And this is a pretty long video, and some of this stuff you may have seen before, but I'm not sure I recall ever showing the whole process of making a helical gear. So I'm just going to let this one run. I'm going to let it be long, and you all know how to use the fast forward if you're so inclined.
See? I need... That'll do. That'll do. That's really nice. I bet when that light cools off, it'll be just a hair tight, but that's okay. What we're fighting for is concentricity. That's why we did the arbor over centers, which I don't do very often. And it came out within a few tenths concentricity over the centers, which I'm assuming means this is concentric with this is concentric with the centers. And if we get a tight fit there, then when we OD, quick operation. 3/16 diameter. I'll make it about 3/16 deep. There we go. That's it. Just a little feature that ought to disappear when this. That's 2 thou over. That is close enough for gear making. I'll make the profile just a hair deep. Okay. Huh. Okay. Here's our blank. Make sure the nut's still tight. Okay. We're ready to move over to the hobbing machine. Get it set up. So this needs to be 20. That'll be all right. So I need to change the index train. I need to change the Now, the reason I made that arbor so long is this is a pretty small diameter, at 1 inch. And I thought, well, I could put a place on it for, you know, 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, whatever. I can have 2 or 3 steps on that, but it's a little long right now. We'll see how it runs. If it needs to be shortened, I can do that.
So, consulting my much loved and pretty grimy table of change gears, I want to do 24 teeth. So without the contra rotation, that means the C to B ratio is 22/20. So with gears that I have, that'll be 44/40. So all I have to do is change out one gear on the index train to get to 24 teeth. Good deal.
Took a lot of time to make these change gears. And it's nice when you got ones that you need. That helps a lot. Okay, everything else should be good to go. Keep this gauge. Now we gotta do the lead train.
Well, if you look real close, you can see the little scratch on the OD of the gear. I just wanted to make sure that the lead compensation was working as it should. So that was just a quick test. And then what we'll do here in just a second is we'll touch off the the tool against the OD of the gear, and that sets our diameter reference that we'll use to set the hole depth of the cut. Look too bad. Needs a little bit of deburr. Well, there it is. My metal stamping is not going to set the world on fire, but this is a 24 tooth 9DP gear. And it didn't come out too bad. I'm going to send it to Greg and see what he thinks. He'll probably have to do a little bit of fitting to get this on his spindle, but I think it's pretty much to spec. And we'll just see if it doesn't work. I told him it came with a money-back guarantee. Well, you all know I believe in full disclosure, so I have to be honest. The gear in these pictures, when I was doing kind of the final run-through of my math, I caught a mistake, and it actually made the gear about 25 thousandths bigger than it should have been. And I was tempted to try to recut it, but in the end I decided to make a new blank and recut the gear because, you know, practice makes perfect and stuff. So anyway, this gear that's on screen right now is the actual article that I'll be sending to Greg, and it came out just fine. Has the right tooth number and everything. Thanks for watching.